The cities are deserted. The streets are mostly empty and lifeless. A couple of years have passed since the economic collapse. Riots in the cities and martial law were silenced. Most of the population left the city, and many of them did not survive this brutal transformation of the world. Life in the city without police security, electricity, water, money, supplies, becomes impossible. The TV receivers only play the emergency broadcast system, and that can only be noticed by someone who has an alternative source of electricity. The streets are filled with darkness and mystical silence. Cars have not driven through these parts of the city for a long time. Many of them are barricaded and crowded with lots of untied garbage. Apart from ordinary people, they live hidden and quietly in an apartment. They don't move much, they don't make any noise. Under cover of night, they go in search of water and food. They mostly go to deserted shopping centers, which have long since been emptied and devastated. Although at first glance it looks empty and looted, in some locations inside the shopping center you can find useful things for survival. Although they seem like a tempting place to visit on weekends with the family, or maybe even settle here, abandoned shops seem like ideal places to stay. But they are not completely alone. Many dangers are hidden in hidden places, basements, and abandoned garages. Shopping centers are usually in separate places of the city and are easily visible. Every hungry passerby will come here and see something for themselves. My name is Absinthium. In this episode, we will talk about city life a few years after the economic collapse. We will talk about people who decided to stay for various reasons. Although at first glance the cities seem like ninja settlements where everyone mostly moves at night. Sneaking and hiding. Is that really so? Cities only at first glance seem like peaceful and mysterious places to live. Certain parts of the city are held by well-organized and armed gangs, the so-called marauders. They are organized hierarchically and are extremely brutal if anyone gets in their way. The rest of the people bypass them by a wide margin. With terror, organization, and numbers, they hold all key parts of the city in a coordinated manner. They control food warehouses, waterworks, and fuel tanks. At least what's left, because nothing has been produced for a couple of years. Marauders are lost souls, and many of them are demon-possessed due to exposure to a horrible lifestyle. Among them, mostly people with antisocial personality disorder gathered. People without empathy, moral compass, remorse, and guilt. The question is whether many of them have a soul at all, and some are even aware of the fact that they are on the opposite side. Mocking God is no stranger to them, and with enormous power in this situation, many consider themselves gods on earth. Temporary masters of life and death. Although extremely aggressive and evil, these people will serve the forces of darkness on earth only temporarily. Their role is to create as much chaos and fear as possible among the remaining population of the city in times of trouble. In Revelation 18:4, "Then I heard another voice from heaven say, 'Come out of her, my people, so that you will not share in her sins, so that you will not receive any of her plagues. For her sins are piled up to heaven, and God has remembered her crimes. Give back to her as she has given. Pay her back double for what she has done. Pour her a double portion from her own cup. In Ezekiel 6:5, it is said, "Wherever you live, cities shall be ruined and high places laid waste, in order that your altars be laid waste and devastated, your idols broken and smashed, your incense altars hacked to pieces, and whatever you have made wiped out. The slain shall fall in your midst, and you shall know that I am the Lord." As time went on, cities became increasingly inhospitable places to live. Even the most resilient and brutal inhabitants had to leave these urban areas, due to poverty and extreme destruction. Cities are now completely empty places, remaining relics from the once glorious times of advanced civilization. No matter how powerful civilizations are, it is God who writes history. In this episode, you could find out what the cities described in John's Revelation will look like after the fall of New Babylon. The world will temporarily become a rural place where the inhabitants of the country will try to adapt to the new conditions. A lot more will happen until the rapture, but we will talk about that in some of the following episodes. God bless you. See you next time.